Welcome to Dr. Tarazi's Math Site. This video is one of a series covering the released Ohio State math questions between 2017 and 2023. The number system makes up 6% of the test questions. Standards 8.NS.1-2 know that there are numbers that are not rational and approximate them by rational numbers. Please pause and read the details of these two standards.
Hello and welcome. Here is what you need to know before we get to the examples.
What are the different kinds of numbers?
We start with natural numbers, those numbers that we count with 1, 2, 3, 4 up to infinity. And we add 0 to it, then we get whole numbers. If I add the negative numbers now, I get negative integers. I get all the integers, okay, from negative infinity to positive infinity. Now, the rational numbers are fractions. When converted to decimal numbers, they are terminating or repeating decimals. Examples: 7 divided by 4 is 1.75. That's terminated. If you divide 5 divided by 7, you get this number, and you notice that this digits here up to 5 is repeated, and so on and so forth. So we write it this way. Another example: 40 divided by 3 is 13.3333. That's repeating decimals, and we write it 13.3 and bar on top of it. Irrational means not rational, which means non-terminating and non-repeating decimals. Okay, non-terminating and non-repeating decimals. Square root of 2, pi. Now, real numbers are all of the above.
What are the different kinds of numbers?
Again, I put those in the table here. So real numbers are either rational numbers or irrational numbers. Irrational numbers, non-terminating and non-repeating decimals. These are examples: square root of 2, pi, cubic root of 25, square root of 3, square root of 5. There's a whole bunch of them. There is an infinite number of irrational numbers. Rational numbers are terminating or repeating decimals. All positive and negative integers are rationals. All positive and negative fractions are rationals. Whole numbers are integers. Integers are fractions because you can take an integer, 13 for instance, and put it over 1. That gives you a fraction.
What is a perfect square number?
And let's go back here. And these are some examples, okay?
What is a perfect square number?
A perfect square number is a product of an integer by itself. It's of the form x squared, where x is an integer. And here are the first 10 perfect square numbers: 1, 4, 9, 16, 25, etc. So if you look at 36, that's 6 squared. What's 6 times 6? 8 times 8. 9 times 9.
Important note:
the square root of a non-perfect square number is an irrational number, which means non-terminating and non-repeating. So if you take any number between here, not these numbers, you get its square root will be an irrational number.
Important recommendation:
8th grade students are allowed to use during the test approved handheld calculators. Make sure to practice how to calculate the square root of numbers using your school-approved calculator. It's very important. It will help you a lot during the test.
Recommendation:
To make the most of these videos, I suggest pausing the video when you see this button, solving the problem, and then resuming the video to check your answer.
Example 1.
In this example, match each expression to the range in which the value lies. Square root of 80, 85, square root of 90. Is it between 7 and 8, 8 and 9, or 9 and 10? So the easy way to do about this, just use the calculator. Square root of 80 is 8.944, which means between 8 and 9. Square root of 85 is 9.219. That's between 9 and 10. Between 9 and 10. Square root of 90, also between 9 and 10. Now, if you want not to use the calculator, you can do it this way. Put 80 between two consecutive perfect squares, 64 and 81. So you square root each term. You get square root of 80 between 8 and 9. That's what we found. Do the same thing for 85. Now 85 is between 81 and 100. Okay, remember, two consecutive perfect squares. Square root of every term. You get square root of 85 is between 9 and 10. Same thing goes for 90.
Example 2.
An expression where x represents a whole number is shown. Square root of 8 plus square root of x. The value of the expression is between, these are information that we need to pay attention to. What is a possible value of x? When you see a possible value of x, expect that there will be more than one good answer. So you can use the calculator if you like. You just put x 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and compute square root of x. Square root of 8, you can round to 2 decimal places, add them, and now look at these numbers here. Which one is between 4 and 5? This one is not. This one is good. This one is good. And this one is good. This one is not. Okay, so your answers will be 2, 3, or 4. Now, another way without calculator, put 8 between 4 and 9, two consecutive perfect squares. Square root every term. You get square root of 8 is between 2 and 3. Now I'm going to add a square root of something here to make it between 4 and 5. So I have to add 2. If I add 2 here, I add 2 here, 2 is square root of 4. So you get square root of 8 plus square root of 4 between 4 and 5, and that gives you the answer 4. You don't need to find all the answers, just one will be good.
Example 3.
An expression is given that has a value between 4.4 and 4.5, okay? Where x is represent an integer. X is an integer, okay? So this is the expression. What is the value of x? The value of x, which means only one answer. So just put square root of x plus square root of x is between 4.4 and 4.5. That's given. Now, these two are like terms. That would be 2 square root of x between 4.4 and 4.5. Divide by 2. Now you can square each term. When you square root, it takes you back to x. So x between 2.2 squared and 2.25 squared, which is x between 4.84 and 5.06. But x is an integer. So only one possible answer. X is 5.
Example 4.
Approximate the value of square root of 23 and place it on the number line. This number line given to you. Use the calculator. Square root of 23, if I round it to 2 decimal places, I get 4.80, which is between 4.5 and 5. I choose 4.5 because this is going by 0.5. See, 4.5, 5, 5.5, 6, 6.5. So you just place it here and you get a full mark for this question. Now, if you want to think of it in a different way, say 23 between 16 and 25. Again, 2 consecutive perfect squares. Square root everything. It's between 4 and 5. But don't place it here because you won't get a point for it. It's closer to 25. 23 is closer to 25, so it should be around here. Okay.
Example 5.
A statement is shown. The square root of x is a number that is non-terminating and non-repeating, which means irrational number. We need the square root of the number to be irrational. select all the values for x that make the statement true. When you say select all, expect there's more than one, okay? So remember what I started with the square root of a non-perfect square number is an irrational number, which is non-terminating and non-repeating. So I need to find from these numbers which one is not a perfect square. 1 does not work because if you square root 1, you get 1. Now 8 is an answer, good answer. 25 is not, because if you square 25, you get 5. 81 is not an answer because you square 81, you get 9. 125 is a good answer because 125 is not a perfect square.
Example 6.
The value of square root of k lies between 2.2 and 2.3. Select all possible values of k. So what you can do, you can take all of these numbers and calculate the square root and see which one is between 2.2 and 2.3. So if you want to use the calculator, put k, those values right here, and square root them. And now we have to look at those and see which one is between 2.2 and 2.3. This one is not. 2.2, this one is not. That's below 2.2. This one is good. This one is good. 2.302, that exceeded the 2.3, so that's not good. 2.45, that's above 2.3, so that's not good. So you get your answers being 5 and 5.04. I like to do it in a different way. I like to do it this way. I would put square root of k between 2.2 and 2.3. That's what I am told. Then I'm going to square every term. K should be between 2.2 squared and 2.3 squared. K should be between 4.84 and 5.29. Then I go here and see, is it the case here? No. Is it a 4.8? Is it greater than 4.84? No. 5 is good. 5 is good. 5.3, now I exceeded this, so that's not good. 6, not good. Okay, so you can do it either way, whatever you feel comfortable with.
Thank you for watching. If you would like to have a copy of the PowerPoint presentation, please leave your email address in the comments section, and we will be happy to email you a copy.
Thank you, and see you soon.
Thank you for watching. More videos to come. Please subscribe.